The first thing my 8-year-old granddaughter said when I handed her the birthday present I was 4 days late delivering was, "Grandpa, can I stay at your house tonight so Mommy can't put the sleepy stuff in my lemonade?" I remember every detail of that sentence because my brain refused to understand it the first time. The pink blanket around her shoulders, the little stuffed dolphin on her bed, the birthday balloons still floating weakly near the ceiling, the way she whispered "Mommy" like someone might be listening through the wall. I asked what sleepy stuff meant. She said, "I don't know. She says it helps my body calm down when I'm being too much." Then she added something that still makes me sick when I remember it. "Sometimes I wake up and Mommy isn't home." I did not yell. I did not run downstairs and confront my daughter-in-law. I did not call my son and explode. I took my granddaughter's hand, walked downstairs, told her mother I was taking her out for belated birthday ice cream, and drove directly to the pediatric clinic she had been using since kindergarten. 47 minutes later, a doctor I had known for 3 years was holding a lab report and asking me, very carefully, "Mr. Hayes, who has been giving this child sedating medication?" That was the moment I stopped feeling guilty for missing a birthday and started wondering how many nights my family had missed something far worse. My name is Walter Hayes. I was 64 when this happened, a retired aviation maintenance supervisor living outside Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and until that week, I believed the worst thing I had ever done as a grandfather was missing my granddaughter Maisie's 8th birthday party because I had spent 5 days sick with a respiratory infection and a fever that made driving irresponsible. I had been looking forward to that party for weeks. Maisie had chosen an ocean theme because she had decided at age 6 that she was going to become a marine biologist even though she lived 4 hours from the coast and had never willingly touched a fish. I bought her a beginner telescope because apparently marine biology had expanded to include space, and I wrapped it myself in paper covered with whales. My wrapping looked like it had survived a tornado, but Maisie never cared about that. She cared that I showed up. That was why missing the party hurt. My wife Claire died 11 years earlier from ovarian cancer. After that, being grandpa became one of the few roles in my life that did not feel like something grief had altered. My son Ethan was 37, my only child, and Maisie was his only child. Ethan worked as a regional project manager for a commercial construction company based in Raleigh. He traveled more than I liked. Atlanta one week, Richmond the next, Charleston after that. He hated being away from Maisie, but the position paid well. Brooke liked the life it funded, and every time I asked whether he had considered something with less travel, he said, "Dad, this is the part where I build enough experience so I don't have to travel later. Fathers spend half their lives being told later will justify now." Sometimes it does. Sometimes later arrives carrying receipts. Ethan met Brooke Campbell when they were 27. She worked in pharmaceutical sales then, though by the time Maisie was born, she had shifted into part-time wellness marketing, social media consulting, and what she called brand partnerships. I never fully understood that job. She was good at presenting things beautifully. She could photograph a bowl of cereal so that it looked like a life decision. Their house in Cary always had seasonal wreaths, matching throw pillows, and a kitchen counter with almost nothing on it except a ceramic fruit bowl nobody touched. Brooke's Instagram was full of bright kitchens, linen dresses, captions about slow mornings, intentional motherhood, grace, gratitude, choosing joy, protecting peace, and every other phrase people type, while a photographer is standing 3 feet away. She loved Maisie. I believed that then. I still believe some part of her did. That is what makes the story worse, not better. Brooke was not some stranger who hated her child. She was Maisie's mother. She knew her favorite cereal. She braided her hair beautifully. She made elaborate Halloween costumes. She cried during kindergarten graduation. She could be tender and impatient within 10 minutes because real people are complicated. The problem was that Brooke did not simply want motherhood. She wanted motherhood that fit around the rest of the life she thought she deserved. Maisie was bright, emotional, loud, curious, and allergic to being decorative. She asked questions during adult conversations. She sang while eating. She woke early. She hated naps. She had what her teacher called a big nervous system, which basically meant the world entered her at full volume. Ethan loved that about her. I loved it too. Brooke found it exhausting. Her mother, Denise Campbell, found Brooke's exhaustion evidence that Maisie needed firmer handling. Denise was 61, divorced twice, lived 15 minutes away, and believed she was an authority on parenting because Brooke had survived childhood and owned a nice house. "Kids today run the adults," she said regularly. When Brooke was little, bedtime meant bedtime. We didn't negotiate with children. Denise and I tolerated each other. That is the polite version. I thought she treated every conversation like a contest over who knew the family better. She thought I was one of those grandfathers who thinks being retired means hovering. Once, when Maisie was 5 and sick with the flu, I drove over with soup. Denise was there and said, "You know Brooke can parent her own child." I said, "I brought soup, Denise. I didn't bring adoption papers." Ethan laughed. Brooke did not. After that, family peace required me and Denise to stay in separate corners whenever possible. Looking back, I had seen things before Maisie whispered about the lemonade. I just had not known what I was seeing. The previous Thanksgiving, Maisie fell asleep on the living room rug at 5:30 in the afternoon before dinner. Not curled up watching a movie. Completely out. Brooke posted a picture of her with the caption, "When the turkey coma arrives before the turkey." Everyone laughed. I thought it was odd because Maisie had spent the afternoon running around with cousins. Maybe she was tired. At Christmas, she fell asleep during gifts at 7:15. Denise said, "Finally some peace." I remember the way Ethan looked at her. "She's 6. Denise laughed. Exactly. Exhausting. In March, Maisie stayed with me one weekend while Ethan and Brooke attended a wedding. She was awake until nearly 10 reading on the guest room floor. I teased her. "Your mother says you're asleep by 7:30. Maisie shrugged. "Mommy gives me my calm drink at home." I assumed warm milk, chamomile, some ridiculous wellness powder Brooke had discovered online. "What's in it?" "Lemonade." "Lemonade makes you calm?" "The special kind." Then she changed the subject because children do not know when they have handed you a clue. I did not ask more. That failure stayed with me for a long time. In June, I attended a cookout at Ethan's house. Brooke spent most of the afternoon filming short videos for a cookware company. Maisie repeatedly asked her to come look at a fort she had built. In a minute. "Maisie, Mommy is working." Eventually, Denise said, "Come here, sweet girl. I'll make you your little drink." Brooke turned immediately. "Not yet, Mom," Denise said. "I know." They looked at each other. Tiny exchange. I remember it because I had worked around machinery for 40 years and learned that what people do with their eyes often tells you which switch they do not want touched. I still did nothing. Why would I? There are ordinary explanations for ordinary moments. Trust is built partly by refusing to imagine the worst every time something looks strange. That is what makes betrayal so effective. It hides inside the benefit of the doubt. Maisie turned 8 on October 7th. Her party was Saturday the 5th because school schedules make no sense. I became sick Thursday. By Saturday, I still had a fever. Ethan told me to stay home. Maisie FaceTimed me wearing a paper crown with dolphins on it. "Grandpa, I saved you cake." "Freeze it." "Mom says cake gets gross in the freezer. Your mother is wrong about many things." Brooke laughed from behind the phone. I heard that. Good. Normal. I hated missing it. Monday, I felt better. Tuesday afternoon, I drove the 90 minutes to Cary with the badly wrapped telescope and a stuffed sea turtle I had purchased at a gas station because it looked lonely. Brooke opened the door wearing workout clothes and holding her phone. Walter. Not rude, not warm. Birthday delivery. "She's upstairs. How's she doing?" "Fine, moody." "School?" "Home today." That made me pause. "Sick?" Brooke sighed. "Tired. She was up late Sunday and had a meltdown yesterday morning. I kept her home because apparently I'm the worst mother alive if I expect a child to function while tired." "I didn't say that." "I know. Sorry." She looked exhausted herself. "I have a call in 5 minutes. Go. I'll see her." "You're a lifesaver." That phrase. I accepted it then. I climbed the stairs, knocked on Maisie's door, and found her sitting on the bed with a blanket around her shoulders. She looked slow. Not sick exactly. Her eyes were heavy and unfocused. Birthday girl. Her face bright and late, like the smile had traveled from somewhere far away. "Grandpa?" I gave her the telescope. Normally Maisie opened presents like she was conducting emergency surgery. This time she peeled the tape carefully, slowly. "Are you okay?" "Just sleepy." "At 2:30? Mom says my body needs rest." She pulled out the telescope and smiled. Real smile. "Can we see Saturn?" "Eventually." "Tonight?" "Maybe." Then she became quiet. She looked toward the hallway, I noticed. "What?" "Nothing." "Maisie, can I tell you something and you don't tell Mommy I said it?" Every adult instinct in me tightened. "You can tell me anything." I can't promise to keep something secret if you're not safe. She considered that, which is not something an 8-year-old should have to consider. Okay. Then she whispered the sentence that changed our lives. Can I stay at your house tonight so mommy can't put the sleepy stuff in my lemonade? I did not react visibly. Maintenance work teaches you something useful. Panic is contagious. When something fails at 30,000 feet, the first person who loses his head is usually the least useful person in the room. What sleepy stuff? I don't know. Medicine? She nodded. Sometimes. What does she tell you it is? She says it helps my body calm down when I'm being too much. My chest tightened. How does it make you feel? Heavy. Anything else? My mouth feels dry. Sometimes my head feels weird. How often? She shrugged. When Daddy travels. Sometimes when Mommy has meetings. At night? Sometimes after school. I felt cold all over. Does Daddy know? Mom says Daddy worries too much. Does Grandma Denise know? Another pause. She made it once. That answer hit hard. What happens after you drink it? I sleep. Anything else? Maisie looked at the door again. Sometimes I wake up and Mommy isn't home. The room became very small. Where is she? I don't know. Are you alone? Sometimes Grandma's there when I wake up. Sometimes Mommy comes back. Has she ever told you not to tell Daddy? Maisie nodded. She says he gets dramatic about medicines because Grandpa Walter worries him. I almost laughed from sheer disbelief. Apparently I was part of the explanation. Okay. Am I in trouble? That question nearly broke me. No. Mommy says I ask too many questions about everything. You are absolutely not in trouble. I held out my hand. How about we take the telescope for a ride? Where? Ice cream. Her face brightened. Really? Really. We went downstairs. Brooke was in the kitchen on a headset. I waited until she muted herself. I'm taking Maisie for ice cream. Sure. Maybe dinner too. Brooke waved fine. I might keep her tonight if she wants. She did not even look up. Honestly, perfect. Ethan's in Charlotte. I have a client thing. Perfect. Not what clothes does she need. Not when will she be back. Not she has school tomorrow. Perfect. I buckled Maisie into the backseat of my Subaru because I am 64 and finally admitted trucks are annoying in parking garages. She immediately leaned her head against the window. Grandpa? Yeah? Can we not get ice cream first? What do you want? I just want to sleep. Okay. I drove to Triangle Pediatrics. Dr. Priya Shah had seen Maisie several times over the years. I told the receptionist my granddaughter was unusually drowsy and might have been given medication without clear medical reason. That sentence changes waiting room priorities. We were in an exam room within 10 minutes. I told Dr. Shah exactly what Maisie had told me, with Maisie present. I did not embellish. I did not accuse Brooke. I said, I need to know whether there is something in her system and whether she is safe. Dr. Shah examined Maisie, asked age-appropriate questions, and ordered testing. Maisie curled up against me while we waited. Am I missing school tomorrow? Probably. Cool. Do not celebrate. I'm not. She was asleep within minutes. Natural? Drugged? Exhausted? I did not know yet. I held her and stared at a poster about childhood vaccines while trying not to imagine every possible explanation. Dr. Shah returned holding results. She closed the door. Saturday. Mr. Hayes, the screening is consistent with repeated exposure to a sedating, over-the-counter medication. She used the medical name too. I will not repeat it because this story does not need to become a lesson in how someone did something harmful. What mattered was simple. It was something commonly used for legitimate reasons, but capable of causing significant drowsiness. Maisie did not have a medical plan requiring it. The pattern did not look like one accidental dose. Are you sure? The results support repeated administration. How repeated? I cannot tell you exact timing from this alone. Could it be from allergy treatment? Does she have a current allergy prescription or active symptoms? No. Dr. Shah looked at sleeping Maisie. Who is giving it? She says her mother, sometimes her maternal grandmother. Dr. Shah became very still. Where is her father? Working in Charlotte. He thinks she's having growth spurts. She nodded carefully. I need Ethan involved immediately. I know. And Maisie should not return to a situation where medication is being given without appropriate medical direction, until we understand what's happening. She's coming with me, with Ethan's permission. I'll get it. Doctor. Shah looked at me. Walter, I know you want to protect her. Do not turn this into a confrontation tonight. Get the father involved. Keep Maisie safe. Let professionals handle anything medical from here. That advice probably saved me from making several mistakes. I wanted to drive back to Brooke's house, put the results on her marble countertop, and ask her what kind of mother turns her child's consciousness into a scheduling tool. Instead, I called Ethan from the parking lot. Dad? Traffic noise behind him. You okay? I need you to listen without interrupting. He went quiet immediately. Is Maisie okay? She is safe. What happened? I told him I had taken her to the doctor because she seemed unusually drowsy. I told him testing indicated repeated exposure to a sedating medication. I told him what Maisie had said. The phone became silent. Say that again. I did. She said Brooke gives her something? Yes. No. Immediate. Human. Ethan. No. Brooke gives her vitamins sometimes. Melatonin maybe if she's having trouble sleeping, but did you agree to medication? No. Does Maisie have an allergy prescription? No. Silence. Dad, are you sure this isn't something she took accidentally? The doctor is concerned about repeated exposure. His breathing changed. Where is Maisie? With me. Put her on. She's asleep. Again? Yes. Another silence. I'm coming home. Do not call Brooke yet. What? Come here first. Dad, you are 2 hours away, angry and driving. Come to my house. We will talk with Maisie when she is awake and decide what happens next. He whispered, Jesus Christ. Drive safely. I called Brooke next, not to accuse her. Maisie wants to stay with me a couple days. Amazing. She sounded relieved. Honestly, Walter, thank you. Ethan said yes. Great. Anything she needs? School bag is here. I'll handle school. You're saving me this week. There it was again. Saving her from what? Good night, Brooke. Night. She did not ask why Maisie had not returned. Did not ask how the ice cream trip went. Did not ask whether her daughter's unusual sleepiness had improved. I drove back to Winston-Salem, with Maisie sleeping in the rear seat. Halfway home, she woke and asked, Are we going to your house? Yes. Is Daddy coming? Yes. Is Mommy mad? I don't know. Did you tell? I told Daddy you didn't feel good. She stared at the seatbelt. Mom says people will think she's a bad mom if I tell about the juice. That sentence settled into me like a stone. Maisie, listen carefully. You never have to keep a secret because an adult is afraid of looking bad. Even Mommy? Especially people responsible for keeping you safe. Will she get in trouble? The adults will handle adult things. Are you mad at her? I did not lie. I'm worried about you. That's not what I asked. 8-year-olds are ruthless. Yes, I'm angry. I'm angry too. You're allowed. I still love her. Also allowed. Ethan arrived at my house at 8:12 that night. He looked like he had aged 5 years between Charlotte and Winston-Salem. Maisie had eaten half a grilled cheese sandwich and was sitting on the floor assembling a puzzle when he walked in. She jumped up. Daddy. He dropped to his knees and hugged her so tightly she squealed. Then he looked over her shoulder at me. I saw the father in him understand before the husband was ready. Can you stay with Grandpa while I talk to him? Ethan asked. Are you leaving? No. Promise? Promise? That question crushed him. He followed me into the kitchen. I gave him the report. He read it twice. Could this be from normal use? Ask Dr. Shah. I will. You should. He sat at my table with both hands over his mouth. Brooke has given her medicine before. For what? When she had colds. Normal stuff. Did you know about a calm drink? No. Has Maisie been unusually sleepy? Sometimes. How long? He looked sick. Months. And? Brooke said school was wearing her out. Ethan. I know. No, don't do that. What? Don't turn this into you confessing before you know anything. You trusted your wife. That is not a crime. I'm her father. Yes, I should have seen it. Maybe. Later we can discuss what you missed. Right now your job is what you do after seeing it. He cried silently, then wiped his face. What exactly did Maisie say? I told him, every word. When I reached, sometimes I wake up and Mommy isn't home. Ethan looked up. What? That's what she said. Brooke doesn't go out when I travel. You know that? She says she's home. That's different. His jaw tightened. Does Maisie know where she goes? No. Denise. Maisie says sometimes Denise is there when she wakes. He stood and walked to the sink. My mother-in-law knows. Maybe. Dad. Maybe. We still confirm. How calm do you expect me to be? Calm enough that Maisie never has to watch her father explode over something happening to her. That stopped him. He looked toward the living room. Okay. That night, Ethan slept in my guest room. Maisie slept beside him until midnight, then climbed into my room because she said Daddy was breathing loud. We spent the next day gathering truth in the least dramatic ways possible. Ethan spoke with Dr. Shah. He contacted Maisie's school and learned she had been sent to the nurse 6 times in the previous 3 months for unusual fatigue, headaches, and once dizziness. Each time Brooke told the school she was adjusting to a new sleep routine, Ethan had never known. The school emails had gone to Brooke because she was listed as primary contact during Ethan's work travel. Then Ethan did something simple that uncovered more than any investigator could have. He searched the family text thread he shared with Brooke and Denise. The messages went back years. Normal things. Grocery lists, birthday photos, jokes. Buried between them were sentences he had ignored because context made them look harmless. Denise. Did the little night owl finally go down? Brooke. Yep. Peace restored. Denise. Told you my trick works. Another night while Ethan was in Atlanta. Brooke. She is bouncing off the walls and I have a Zoom at 7. Denise. Use the pink bottle, not the gummies. Faster. Brooke. You're terrible. Denise. You're welcome. Ethan stared at the screen. I saw these. You read them? Probably. I thought they were talking about kids' sleep aids. You never asked? No. He looked physically ill. Another thread from Thanksgiving the year before. Denise. Give her the calm lemonade before everyone arrives, or she'll interrupt every conversation like last year. Brooke. Already did. Denise. Smart mama. That one made Ethan put down the phone. She was asleep at 5:30. I remember. Dad, she didn't even eat. I remember. Then he found messages that explained the rest. Not all of it. Enough. Brooke had a former boyfriend named Grant Miller. I had met him once years earlier at a neighborhood fundraiser and forgotten him immediately. He ran a boutique fitness studio in Raleigh. Messages between Brooke and Denise contained references to G, client dinner, and your little escape. Denise. If Ethan is in Charlotte, why not? You never get anything for yourself. Brooke. Because Maisie refuses to sleep before 10 lately. Denise. Then help her. Brooke. Mom. Denise. What? We survived. Brooke. You're the devil. Denise. And you'll thank me when you're drinking wine in peace. Ethan did not scream. He simply whispered, my mother-in-law helped my wife drug my daughter so my wife could go out. We don't know where she went each time. Dad. I know. Do not protect her for me. That sentence mattered. I'm not. Then say it. It looks like Denise encouraged this, and Brooke used it when she wanted Maisie asleep. So she could see someone. Possibly. You think I care whether she slept with him right now? Ethan asked. She did this to my kid. There he was. The husband had disappeared from the priority list. The father was fully awake. Brooke called around noon. Hey, when is Maisie coming home? Ethan looked at me before answering. She's staying with Dad for now. Silence. Why? She likes it there. Ethan. I'm here too. Another silence. Why are you in Winston-Salem? Because I wanted to see my daughter. You were supposed to be in Richmond tonight. Plans changed. Brooke's voice became cautious. What is going on? Ethan said. We'll talk tomorrow. About what? Tomorrow. Ethan, you're scaring me. He closed his eyes. Good night, Brooke. He hung up. 5 seconds later, Denise called him. He stared at the phone. That was fast. Don't answer. He didn't. Then came texts. Brooke, what did Walter tell you? Not is Maisie okay? What did Walter tell you? That told us something. Brooke, I know your dad doesn't like me. Whatever he thinks he saw, please talk to me first. Ethan read that twice. She knows. She suspects. Same thing. Denise texted me directly. Walter, do not turn your paranoia into another family war. Brooke is a good mother. I did not respond. 10 minutes later, Ethan travels constantly. Brooke has carried that household alone. Unless you've raised a child by yourself, stay in your lane. I had raised Ethan alone emotionally through the last 18 months of Claire's illness and after she died, but the point did not matter. Denise was building a defense before anyone had accused her. That night, Ethan talked to Maisie himself. I sat nearby only because she asked me to. "Did Mommy ever tell you why she put medicine in your drink?" Ethan asked gently. "She says my brain is loud." "Did a doctor tell her to do that?" "I don't know." "Did she ever tell you not to tell me?" Maisie nodded. Ethan looked down for a second. "What did she say?" "You would say no because you worry about everything when you travel." "Did Grandma Denise give it to you?" "Sometimes." "When?" "When Mommy goes out." Ethan's voice cracked. "Where does Mommy go?" "Dinner. Work, I don't know." "Are you ever alone?" "One time." Every adult in the room stopped breathing. "What do you mean?" "I woke up and Mommy wasn't there and Grandma wasn't there yet." "How long?" "I don't know." "What did you do?" "Watch TV." "Were you scared?" "A little." "Why didn't you call me?" "Mommy said you were sleeping because your meeting was early." Ethan covered his face. "Daddy?" He immediately dropped his hands. "I'm okay." "Are you mad?" "Not at you." "Is Mommy coming?" He paused. "Not tonight." "Okay." She looked relieved. Children sometimes answer questions with their shoulders before their mouths do. The next day, Ethan met Brooke at their house. I was not there. I wanted to be. I also understood that my role was grandfather, not director of their marriage. Ethan later told me exactly what happened. He sat at the kitchen table. Brooke entered already crying. "What did your father say?" "I want you to answer something first." "Okay. Have you been giving Maisie sedating medicine to make her sleep?" Brooke stopped crying. Not because she became calm, because she became afraid. Sometimes she can't settle. "Did a doctor prescribe that plan?" "No." "Did you tell me?" "You're never here." Ethan said nothing. Brooke continued. "I have been alone with everything, Ethan. School, meals, homework, meltdowns, your trips, your calls from hotel rooms asking how we are when I haven't showered. Did you give her medicine so she would sleep?" "I gave her something safe." "That is not what I asked." "Yes." "How often?" "I don't know." "Months?" Silence. "Brooke, maybe." "Did your mother help?" "Sometimes." "Did Maisie ever wake up alone?" Brooke started crying again. "Once." Ethan stood. "Once?" "I was 20 minutes away. You left an 8-year-old alone after giving her medication to make her sleep. She wasn't supposed to wake up." The second the sentence left her mouth, Brooke knew. Ethan stared at her. "That is your defense?" "No." "I didn't mean no." "Say it again." "Ethan, she wasn't supposed to wake up." Brooke sobbed. "I was overwhelmed." "Where were you?" Silence. "Where?" "With Grant." Ethan nodded slowly. "How long?" "What?" "How long have you been seeing him?" "It isn't what you think. I promise you, whatever you did with Grant is now the second worst thing you've done." That apparently silenced her completely. "How long?" 8 months. Ethan laughed once. "Of course." Brooke reached for him. He stepped back. "Don't. I love you." "That may be true." "I love Maisie." "That may also be true." "Ethan. But you made her unconscious because consciousness interfered with your schedule." Brooke collapsed into a chair. "Don't say it like that." "How should I say it?" "I wasn't trying to hurt her." "You did not need to want harm for harm to happen." "Your dad hates me." "Stop. He has always judged me." "This is not about my father." "He took her." "I took her." "Because he poisoned you against me." Ethan later told me that was the moment he finally saw the pattern. Brooke could not tolerate being the person whose choice created the crisis, so she needed someone else to have created the interpretation. Me, work, stress, Denise, Maisie's behavior, anyone. "Did your mother tell you it was okay?" he asked. Brooke became silent. "Did she?" "She said parents have done things like that forever." "And that was enough?" I was desperate. "Then you call me." You were in Atlanta. "You call my dad." I didn't want him judging me. "You call a babysitter." Money was tight. Ethan laughed bitterly. Money was not tight. You don't know what everything costs. We spent $900 last month on your studio membership and restaurants. You check my account? We have a joint account. This is controlling. No. He stood. This is over. Brooke stared. Our marriage? The version we had is, you're taking my daughter. I am protecting our daughter. She's mine too. Then start acting like her safety matters more than your access. Brooke begged, threatened, apologized, blamed travel, blamed Denise, blamed postpartum depression from 8 years earlier, blamed isolation. Some of those pains may have been real. Ethan did not debate them. He said something I have never forgotten. An explanation can help me understand you. It does not require me to keep Maisie inside the consequences of what you did. Then he left. For the next several weeks, our family became a storm of messages. Denise was the loudest. Brooke needs compassion. Every mother has needed a break. You men think you know everything because you show up after the hard part. Maisie loves her mother. Separating them is trauma. I responded once. What Brooke did was also trauma, Denise replied. That is an outrageous word. I stopped answering. Brooke posted nothing publicly at first. Then 3 weeks later, she posted a black and white photo of herself holding Maisie as a toddler. Caption: There are seasons when motherhood brings us to our knees. I am learning that one mistake can become a weapon when people are more interested in punishment than healing. I saw the post because Aunt Lisa sent it to Ethan. Hundreds of comments. You're an amazing mama. Everyone makes mistakes. Praying your family comes back together. She had not told anyone what the mistake was. Of course, everyone forgave the version they imagined. Ethan wanted to comment. I told him not to. Why? Because you do not need the internet to understand your child. She's making me the villain. People who matter will know. What if Maisie sees this someday? Then she should see that her father did not turn her trauma into content. He put down the phone. You're annoyingly reasonable. Age? No. Mom was reasonable. That one hurt in a good way. Claire would have been furious. She also would have known fury did not need an audience. Maisie stayed primarily with Ethan, who negotiated a travel reduction at work immediately. That cost him a promotion. He did it anyway. I spent years saying I travel now so I can be there later, he told me. Later showed up. He moved into a rental townhouse 10 minutes from Maisie's school, while the adults figured out what came next. I helped furnish it. Not because he could not afford furniture, because fathers sometimes show up with a drill and pizza instead of advice. Maisie chose a purple bedspread. She kept her telescope by the window. Her stuffed sea turtle became Captain Waffles for reasons nobody understood. She began therapy with a child counselor. The first few weeks were difficult. She became suspicious of drinks other people prepared. Even sealed juice boxes made her pause. At school, she asked her teacher twice whether water had anything in it. That was the part I wanted Brooke and Denise to understand more than any punishment. The injury was not sleepiness. It was doubt. Someone had taught a child that a drink handed to her by a person she loved might contain a hidden purpose. Trust lives in ordinary objects before betrayal. A glass, a plate, a bedtime routine. After betrayal, ordinary objects start asking questions. Maisie also missed her mother, deeply. Can I call Mommy? Yes. Is Mommy bad? No, Ethan said. Then why can't I go home? That question nearly destroyed him. Because Mommy made choices that weren't safe. But she said sorry. I know. When you say sorry, I have to forgive you. Ethan sat beside her. You have to decide whether to forgive people when you're ready. And forgiveness doesn't mean everything goes back to the way it was. Do you forgive Mommy? He looked at me. I stayed silent. I don't know yet. Do you love her? Yes. Then why don't you live there? Because love and living together are different decisions. Maisie hated that answer. It was also true. November approached. Thanksgiving had always been Denise's holiday. Big table, matching plates, family photos on the staircase. Brooke's side of the family everywhere. Denise began campaigning for a normal Thanksgiving. First, she called Ethan. Maisie needs stability. She has stability. She needs her mother. She sees Brooke under the plan everyone agreed to. That is not motherhood. It is what is safe right now. Walter has always wanted to take over. Ethan laughed. Dad doesn't even want to host Thanksgiving. Of course he does. He gets to be the hero. This is not about him. It's always about him. He never respected Brooke. Mom gave my daughter medication so Brooke could leave the house. Do not call me Mom. Fine, Denise. She hated that more. Then she called me. Walter, I am begging you as another grandparent. What? Stop keeping Maisie from her mother. I'm not. You know what I mean. I actually don't. Encourage Ethan to bring her Thanksgiving. Where? My house. Will Brooke be there? Obviously. Then Ethan decides. He listens to you? Sometimes. Tell him family healing requires family contact. No. Why? Because Thanksgiving is not therapy. She went silent. You think you're better than me? No. You think what I did makes me some monster. What did you do? Silence. Denise, I helped my daughter. By giving Maisie the same medicine? A tiny amount to settle her. Was that medically directed? Oh, stop. Then no. You are blowing this up. Your granddaughter became afraid of drinks because everyone around her is treating her like a victim. She was harmed. Children take cues from adults. Correct. She took one from you. Adults can hide things in your cup. Denise hung up. The family group chat became worse. Brooke's aunt. No child should spend Thanksgiving away from her mother. Ethan replied. She is spending Thanksgiving with me. Aunt. You know what I meant, Ethan. That is exactly the problem. Eventually, Brooke messaged Ethan privately. Can we please do Thanksgiving at Mom's? I won't push. I won't ask Maisie to stay. I just want one meal. Ethan asked Maisie's therapist. The therapist said the question was not whether Brooke deserved Thanksgiving. The question was whether Maisie wanted it and whether adults could behave safely. Maisie said she wanted to see cousins. And Mommy? Ethan asked. Yes. Grandma Denise? She hesitated. Maybe. That hesitation told us everything. Still, Maisie wanted to go. Ethan agreed to 2 hours. I went because Maisie asked. Grandpa, you make people behave. That is not a compliment. Yes, it is. Thanksgiving afternoon. Denise's house looked perfect. Of course it did. Wreath, candles, floral centerpiece, a chalkboard sign in the entry. Grateful, thankful, blessed. Brooke arrived before us. When Maisie walked in, Brooke dropped to her knees and cried, Baby! Maisie froze, then hugged her. I looked away because the moment belonged to them. Brooke held her too tightly. Maisie whispered, Mommy, I can't breathe. Brooke immediately let go. Sorry. That mattered. Maybe small. Maybe huge. Denise came over. My girl. She opened her arms. Maisie looked at Ethan. Ethan did nothing. Choice belonged to Maisie. She gave Denise a short hug. Denise's face fell slightly. Old Denise would have said, That's all Grandma gets? This Denise said. Good to see you. Also mattered. For the first hour, everyone behaved. Cousins played. Football played. Brooke stayed near Maisie but did not hover. Denise offered drinks in sealed cans and bottles placed on a table. Maisie chose water herself. I saw Denise notice. Her face tightened. She said nothing. We sat for dinner at 4. 24 people. Brooke across from Ethan. Denise at the head. I sat beside Maisie because she had assigned seats herself. Grandpa sits here because he cuts turkey bad and I want to watch. Children keep ego healthy. We started eating. Normal. Then Aunt Cheryl, who had flown in from Richmond and apparently had not received the memo about shutting up, said, It is so wonderful to see everyone together after all that unpleasantness. Ethan's fork stopped. Brooke whispered, Cheryl. What? Cheryl laughed. I'm just saying families survive mistakes. Maisie looked down. I felt her shoulder tense against mine. Denise said, Let's not. Good. Then Cheryl continued because some people interpret silence as an invitation. My mother gave us all sorts of things to make us sleep when we were children. We survived. Ethan put down his fork. Cheryl, I'm not defending anything. I'm just saying people act like Brooke tried to hurt her. Brooke's face went pale. Maisie whispered, Mommy? Everyone went quiet. Brooke said, What, baby? Did you know it could make me feel bad? Brooke froze. No one breathed. Maisie, Ethan said gently, you don't have to talk about this here. She looked at him. I want to know. Brooke's eyes filled with tears. I knew it would make you sleepy. Did you know my head felt weird? No. Did I tell you? Brooke closed her eyes. Once. Silence. Maisie's voice became very small. Then why did you keep doing it? There are questions adults can dodge from other adults. Children remove exits. Brooke began crying. Because I was selfish. Denise said immediately, Brooke, don't say. Brooke turned. Mom, stop. Denise froze. Brooke looked back at Maisie. Because I was tired and overwhelmed and I wanted you asleep so I could do things I wanted to do. Sometimes work, sometimes go out. And I convinced myself it was okay because Grandma Denise told me people had done it forever and because I wanted to believe her. Denise went white. Brooke. No, You are making me responsible for your decisions. You helped. I supported you. You helped me put medicine in her drink. The entire table went silent. Denise's face changed. Not guilt first, betrayal. She had expected daughter loyalty. After everything I did for you. Brooke laughed through tears. There it is. I almost looked at Ethan because that phrase had clearly crossed families. Denise stood. I will not sit here while you rewrite history. Brooke stood too. I learned how to rewrite history from you. Excuse me? You keep telling everyone this was one mistake. It was. It happened for months. Because you kept asking for help. And you should have told me no. I was trying to keep you from falling apart. By helping me drug my child? Do not use that word. Ethan spoke for the first time in several minutes. What word would make you more comfortable? Denise looked at him. You have no idea what Brooke was going through while you traveled. Ethan nodded. You're right. That surprised her. I should have been home more. Brooke looked at him. Ethan, I should have noticed Maisie was exhausted. I should have asked more questions. I should have understood my job was costing my family something. I own that. Then he looked at Denise. None of that made hiding medication from me acceptable. Denise said, I never hid anything. I took out my phone. I had screenshots of the old messages because Ethan had sent them to himself before leaving the house. I did not open them. I simply said, pink bottle, not gummies. Faster. Denise's face drained. That was a joke. Was it? Walter, stay out of this. You made me part of it when my granddaughter asked me to stop you. She stared. She said that? Maisie whispered. Yes. Denise looked at her. For the first time since I had known Denise, she had no words. Aunt Cheryl suddenly became fascinated by mashed potatoes. Brooke sat down. She was shaking. Then Maisie asked another question. Mommy, where did you go? Brooke looked at Ethan. He looked away. Sometimes to see someone. A friend? Yes. A boy? Brooke's face collapsed. Yes. Maisie nodded slowly, not fully understanding adult betrayal, but understanding enough. Did Daddy know? No. So you lied to Daddy too? Yes. Why do grown-ups say lying is bad and then do it more? No one answered because there is no satisfying answer. Denise said, this is not appropriate for a child. I looked at her. The behavior was not appropriate for a child. The truth is just late. Ethan touched my arm slightly. Enough. He was right. Maisie had asked what she needed. She did not need a family trial. We're leaving, Ethan said. Denise stood. You can't walk out every time things get uncomfortable. Ethan looked at her. We came because Maisie wanted Thanksgiving. She had Thanksgiving. Brooke stood too. Can I walk her out? Ethan looked at Maisie. Do you want Mom to? Maisie nodded. Brooke walked with us to the driveway. The air was cold enough to show breath. Maisie hugged her. Are you mad at me? Brooke asked. I wanted to scream at her for putting that question on a child. Then Brooke corrected herself before anyone spoke. No, that wasn't fair. You don't have to take care of my feelings. She knelt. I am sorry, Maisie cried. I miss you. I miss you too. Can you come home? Brooke looked at Ethan, then back at Maisie. Not right now. Because Daddy is mad? Brooke shook her head. Because I made choices that made our home not feel safe. I have to change more than I have changed so far. That was the most adult thing Brooke had said since this began. Maisie hugged her again. Brooke stepped back. No guilt, no promise. I love you. Love you too. We drove away. In the back seat, Maisie said, Grandma Denise is really mad. Probably, Ethan said. Is that my fault? No. Mommy said bad things she did. Yes. Is Grandma mad because Mommy told? I answered because Ethan was driving. Sometimes people get angry when truth changes how other people see them. But she did it. Yes. Then that's dumb. Children often summarize therapy faster than adults. What? Nothing. Denise did not speak to Ethan for 2 months. She posted vague quotes online about children being taught to disrespect elders, grandparents erased by modern parenting, and family members who turn mistakes into identity. Brooke asked her to stop. Denise refused. Brooke eventually blocked her own mother for several weeks. That shocked everyone more than the separation from Ethan. It was the first time Brooke had ever chosen accountability over Denise's approval. She raised me to believe loyalty means protecting family from consequences, Brooke told Ethan during one of their co-parenting sessions. Then I became the person expecting Maisie to protect me. Ethan told me later, I think Brooke finally understands. Does that change your marriage? No. You sure? I understand her better. I trust her less. That distinction was painful and healthy. Their marriage ended quietly. No public war, no endless campaign. Brooke moved into a small apartment near Maisie's school. Ethan stayed in the townhouse. They arranged parenting with professionals and with Maisie's safety as the center. I will not turn this into legal procedural drama because that is not what mattered to our family emotionally. What mattered was that Brooke did not immediately get the old role back simply because she cried and apologized. Contact increased only as trust increased. She completed therapy, parenting support, medical education. She gave up drinking for a year because alcohol had been part of several nights when her judgment disappeared. She ended all contact with Grant. Was that hard? I once asked. No. Really? He was the excuse, not the problem. That was insightful. What was the problem? I thought wanting something made me entitled to make everyone else inconvenient disappear for a while. She looked ashamed. Maisie was the smallest person in the house, so she was easiest to silence. I appreciated the honesty. I hated the sentence. Both were true. Denise changed much less. She apologized initially with, "I'm sorry this got so out of control," which is not an apology for causing anything. Then, "I'm sorry Brooke misunderstood my advice." Then, "I would never intentionally harm Maisie." Every version protected the same belief. Denise was a good grandmother. Therefore, anything she did must be interpreted generously. Eventually, Ethan said, "We are not arguing about whether you love her. We are deciding whether you respect boundaries." Denise replied, "I'm her grandmother." Ethan said, "That is a relationship, not a medical license." She hung up. For almost a year, Maisie saw Denise only at larger family events and never unsupervised. Denise called me once during that year. "You happy?" "About what?" "You got what you wanted." "What did I want?" "Control." I laughed. "Denise, I wanted my granddaughter awake." Silence. "You think you're funny?" "No. Brooke has lost everything." "No. Brooke lost a marriage and trust. She still has a job, home, child who loves her, and chance to become safer." "You sound like a therapist." "I pay one." "Of course. What exactly do you want from me?" "Tell Ethan enough is enough." "No." "Why?" "Because enough is determined by Maisie's safety, not your discomfort. You really think people can't change?" "I think they can." "Then why punish us?" Distance is not punishment when closeness was unsafe. She cried then, genuine crying. "I miss her." "I believe you." "That's it? What do you want me to say?" "That you understand." "I understand missing her." "Then help me. Respect the boundary long enough that people no longer have to defend it from you." Silence. Then, surprisingly, "Okay." She hung up. She did not become a different person overnight. But the vague posts stopped. 3 months later, she sent Maisie a birthday card through Ethan instead of directly. No guilt. "Happy 9th birthday. I hope science club is fun. I love you, Grandma Denise." That was all. Maisie read it. "Can I send a picture of my volcano project?" Ethan said. "Yes." She did. Denise replied, "It looks amazing. No request to visit. No grandma misses you. No emotional invoice. Small progress." Maisie's 9th birthday was nothing like her 8th. Pizza at Ethan's house. 8 classmates. Ocean cupcakes. I arrived 30 minutes early because I was not missing another birthday if I could help it. Maisie opened the door before I knocked. "You're early." Retired people have no concept of time. "Did you bring a present?" "No." She stared. "Grandpa." I held up a box. "Obviously." "What is it?" "If I tell you, wrapping becomes pointless. Your wrapping is already pointless." "Fair." Brooke attended for 2 hours. Ethan had invited her because Maisie wanted both parents. I watched them navigate the room. Brooke did not perform motherhood. That was the thing I noticed. She did not take 20 photos, did not arrange a mother-daughter pose, did not correct how Maisie held her cake. She simply sat beside her and listened to a 14-minute explanation of why octopuses have 3 hearts. Halfway through, Brooke looked at me, tears in her eyes. I used to tell her she talked too much. "I know. I almost missed this kid." "You did miss some." She nodded. "I know. But you're here." "Yeah. We were never close, Brooke and me. We became respectful. That was enough. She once apologized to me directly. I told Ethan you were controlling because you noticed things I didn't want noticed. I can be controlling. She laughed. True. Still, I used you as a villain because if Ethan thought you were interfering, he was less likely to ask why you were concerned. I appreciate the honesty. Do you forgive me? Mostly. Mostly? I'm old. Leave me some material. She laughed. That mattered too. Ethan changed the most in ways nobody saw publicly. He turned down another promotion requiring travel, took a position managing local projects with slightly less money and far less time away. At first, he tried to compensate by becoming hypervigilant. Every drink, every sleepover, every school nurse visit. Maisie eventually said, "Dad, you're doing too much." He looked devastated. "I'm trying to keep you safe." "I know, but you asked me if I'm okay, like 50 times. How many is acceptable? 5, 10, 6. Deal." That was family healing in our house. Negotiation, not control. Ethan also had to face his own guilt about Brooke. "I like that she handled everything," he admitted one night. "School emails, pediatric appointments, clothes, bedtime. I told myself I was providing." "You were. And I used providing as permission not to know enough." "Also true. Do you think I failed, Maisie?" "Yes." He looked at me surprised. "Dad, you asked. I thought you'd say no. You failed to notice some things. Then you stopped failing when you knew." He stared. "That's harsh. You want comforting or true?" "Both. You love her. You were a good father in many ways. You were also absent enough that bad things fit inside the gaps. That hurts. Learn from it." He nodded. "Mom would have said it nicer. Your mother was better than me." "True. Rude." We laughed. Guilt that only produces self-hatred is useless. Guilt that changes behavior can become responsibility. Ethan became present differently. Not perfect, present. He attended parent-teacher conferences himself, learned the names of Maisie's friends, knew which teacher she hated and why, learned that her favorite snack changed every 6 weeks, learned how much emotional labor Brooke had been carrying before she began making dangerous choices. That knowledge did not excuse her. It made him a better co-parent after divorce. Brooke returned to full-time work eventually, not social media. She left the wellness branding world entirely. "I spent too much time packaging myself," she told me. Her Instagram became private, then mostly inactive. The old photos remained for a while. Perfect countertops, perfect outfits, perfect family. One day she archived most of them. "Why?" Ethan asked. "Because Maisie saw one and said, 'That was the night I was really sleepy.'" That answer ended the conversation. Denise did eventually have a larger reckoning. It happened 2 Thanksgivings after the confrontation. By then, Maisie was 10. Contact with Brooke had become regular and unsupervised under agreed conditions. Trust was not fully restored, but it was real enough to grow. Denise had earned limited visits too. No medication, no wellness products, no secret food or drinks, no undermining parents, no posting Maisie online without permission. Thanksgiving was at Ethan's townhouse that year, not Denise's. This alone almost killed her. "My house seats more people," Ethan said. "Mine has fewer memories." Denise became quiet. She arrived with store-bought pie and handed Ethan the receipt because apparently she wanted evidence she had followed the instruction not to make anything special for Maisie. "I do not need the receipt. I'm trying." "I know." After dinner, Maisie was showing cousins a science project when Aunt Cheryl, still incapable of letting history rest, said to Denise, "At least everyone is finally past that whole medicine misunderstanding." The entire room went quiet. Denise looked at her. For 2 years, Denise had accepted a smaller relationship, but still rarely said the full truth publicly. We all waited. She could have taken the exit. Misunderstanding. Easy word. Comfortable word. Instead, Denise said, "It wasn't a misunderstanding." Cheryl blinked. "I just meant, I know what you meant." Denise looked at Maisie across the room, then at the adults. "I encouraged Brooke to give Maisie medicine she did not medically need because I thought a quiet child meant a well-managed child. I was wrong." Nobody spoke. Denise continued. "I told myself it was safe because people did things differently when I raised kids. I told myself Brooke was overwhelmed. Those things may explain why I made the choice. They do not make it okay." Brooke began crying. Denise looked at her. And I helped you avoid admitting you needed real help because telling you to put Maisie to sleep was easier than telling you your life was out of control. Brooke wiped her face. Yeah, Denise nodded. I'm sorry. Maisie had stopped showing her science project. She looked at Denise. Do you still think I talk too much? Denise's face crumpled. Sometimes. Everyone laughed, including Maisie. Denise continued, but I think that's my problem now. Maisie smiled, then went back to her project. No dramatic hug, no music, no instant restoration, just truth entering the room without anybody trying to shrink it. That was the moment I finally believed Denise understood something deeper than consequences. Accountability is not feeling terrible forever. It is refusing the convenient version of what you did when the truthful version makes you look worse. My own relationship with Maisie changed too. For a while, I became overly protective. I wanted her at my house every weekend, wanted to inspect every adult around her, wanted to solve fear with access. My therapist asked, are you protecting Maisie or protecting yourself from ever being surprised again? I hated that question because good therapists are professionally annoying. The answer was both. I had nearly missed the clue. If I had waited until the weekend to deliver that birthday gift, how many more drinks? How many more nights? That what if haunted me. So I started trying to remove uncertainty from her life. But children cannot grow inside a world adults have sterilized of uncertainty. Safety is not surveillance. I had to learn that too. One evening, Maisie said, Grandpa, you don't have to ask what's in my drink every time. I don't. You literally just did. That was curiosity. You asked Dad who poured my water? Quality control? Grandpa. Fine. She smiled. I know you're scared. That stopped me. I'm the adult. Adults can be scared. Who told you that? Therapy. Everyone in this family needs cheaper hobbies. She laughed. Then she said, I'm okay. I wanted to say, you were okay before and I didn't know. Instead I said, I'm learning. Me too. Maisie is 14 now. She is tall, sarcastic, still obsessed with marine biology, and now insists astronomy is just for fun, as though 14-year-olds require specialization. The telescope I gave her on that terrible birthday still sits by her bedroom window at Ethan's house. She volunteers at an aquarium camp every summer. She drinks lemonade again. That took almost 2 years. The first time she ordered one at a restaurant after everything, Ethan looked at her. She noticed. Don't. I didn't say anything. Your face did. Sorry. She took a sip. Nothing happened. Ordinary. That is what healing looks like more often than people admit. The return of ordinary things. A drink becomes a drink. Bedtime becomes bedtime. A mother's text becomes a text instead of a threat. A grandmother brings pie, and nobody checks the kitchen trash afterward. Brooke remained in Maisie's life. I know some people hearing this will hate that. They will say any mother who intentionally sedates her child for convenience should lose access forever. I understand the reaction. I had it. Ethan had it. But Maisie grew older. Brooke changed consistently over years, not weeks. She never again minimized what she did. She did not blame Grant, Denise, Ethan's travel, stress, work, or motherhood. When Maisie asked hard questions, Brooke answered, Why did you pick him over me? I didn't think of it that way then. But my choices made it feel that way, and that is on me. Did you love him? I thought I did. More than Dad? Different question. More than me? No, but I acted selfishly enough that you had every reason to wonder. Why did you give me medicine? Because I wanted control over something I had no right to control that way. No evasions. That matters. Brooke also accepted that Ethan never wanted to remarry her. She asked once, 3 years later, after they had become good co-parents, Do you ever think about us? Ethan said, Yes. In a good way? Sometimes. Could we try again? He told me later he wanted to say yes for about 10 seconds. History, family, Maisie, familiarity. Then he asked himself whether wanting the old picture meant trusting the old relationship. No, he told Brooke. I forgive you. I respect who you've become. I don't want to be your husband again, Brooke cried. Is it because you still don't trust me? Partly. Will you ever? In some ways, yes. Then why? Ethan said. Because forgiveness doesn't require returning to the place where the damage happened. She nodded. Okay. No argument. That response confirmed she had changed more than any promise could. Brooke later dated someone else. Slowly. She introduced him to Maisie after a year. Ethan did not love that because fathers are ridiculous. Maisie said, "Dad, Mom is allowed to date." "I know. You look like you want to interview him." "I do." "Don't." 5 questions. 2. 4. 3. Deal. She has become frighteningly good at boundaries. Denise jokes that the whole family speaks therapy now. She means it less contemptuously these days. Ethan eventually dated too. A woman named Natalie, who teaches middle school science. Maisie liked her because Natalie knew the difference between a squid and an octopus, which apparently is a higher qualification than emotional compatibility. I like her because she does not perform closeness. The first Thanksgiving she attended, she asked Maisie where she wanted everyone to sit before moving anything. That sounds insignificant. It isn't. People who have had control taken from them notice who asks. I retired before all of this. I thought retirement would mean fishing, repairing old radios, and complaining about property taxes. Instead, my 60s became a crash course in family systems, trauma, apology, boundaries, co-parenting, and learning that being the oldest man in the room does not automatically make your instinct correct. I was right about the danger. I was not right about everything afterward. I wanted Brooke gone forever. Maisie did not. I wanted Denise humiliated. Humiliation would not have helped Maisie. I wanted Ethan to stop blaming himself immediately. He needed some guilt to become a different father. I wanted to protect Maisie by controlling every variable. She needed us to give her choices. Revenge fantasies are clean because the villain loses and the hero walks away. Family life is messier. Sometimes the person who hurt you changes. Sometimes they do not. Sometimes forgiveness grows while trust stays smaller. Sometimes the satisfying ending is not watching somebody lose everything. It is watching the child they tried to quiet become impossible to silence. Maisie speaks loudly now. She corrects adults. She asks what is in food without apologizing. She tells Brooke when something feels strange. She tells Ethan when he is hovering. She tells me when I am repeating stories. "Grandpa, you already told me this. I am old. You told it yesterday." "Yesterday was a long time ago." She rolls her eyes. Perfect. The first time she spent a weekend alone with Brooke again, almost 3 years after the birthday incident, Ethan was terrified. Brooke was terrified. I was pretending not to be. Maisie was 12. She packed her own bag. Ethan asked, "You have your phone?" "Yes." "Charger?" "Yes." "Do you know you can call me?" "Dad." Or Grandpa. "Dad." Or 911. "Dad." He stopped. "Sorry." She looked at him. "I'm choosing to go." That sentence was everything. Choosing. Brooke had spent months taking choice away from her. Now safety meant returning it carefully. "Okay," Ethan hugged her. "Have fun." She did. Brooke sent no performative photos, no captions about healing. She sent Ethan one text Saturday night. "She's asleep naturally. I'm on the couch watching terrible television. Thought you'd appreciate the boring update." Ethan replied, "Very. Ordinary." Again, on the 7th anniversary of that birthday, Maisie asked me something while we were driving to the coast. "Do you ever wish you hadn't come that Tuesday?" I nearly swerved. "What?" "Because everything changed." "Maisie, Mom and Dad divorced. Grandma Denise stopped talking to us for a while. Mom had to move. Everybody was sad. I pulled into a gas station because that question deserved a parked car. Look at me." She did. "None of that happened because I came. But if you didn't..." "No." "Grandpa, you told the truth. The adults made choices before you ever told me. Truth did not create the consequences." She looked out the window. "Mom says that too." "Good. Sometimes I think if I didn't tell you, we'd still all live together." "Maybe." "Would that be better?" I thought carefully. "Would you still be drinking something you didn't want?" Silence. "Maybe." "Would your dad know?" "No." "Would your mom have gotten help?" "Probably not." "Would you have learned that adults can tell you to keep unsafe secrets?" She frowned. "I guess." "Then the old family picture might still exist. That doesn't mean the family would be healthier." She was quiet. "So telling was good?" "Telling was brave." I didn't feel brave. Most brave people don't. "Grandpa?" "Yeah?" "You talk like a poster. Get out of my car." She laughed. We continued to the coast. That conversation reminded me of something I had almost forgotten. Children often blame themselves for the earthquake because they were the first person who said the floor was moving. Families sometimes reinforce that accidentally. Everything was fine until you told. No, everything looked fine until someone told. The difference matters. That is why I am careful now about how I tell this story. I do not say Maisie destroyed her parents' marriage. Brooke's choices did. I do not say I exposed Brooke. Maisie disclosed what was happening because she trusted me enough to whisper. I do not say Ethan rescued his daughter. He responded when he finally understood. I do not say Denise was evil. She was arrogant, dismissive, deeply wrong, and willing to use old parenting beliefs to excuse crossing boundaries. When she changed, she deserved acknowledgement for changing, not erasure of what came before. I do not say Brooke was a monster. Monsters are easy. Brooke was a loving mother who became selfish, secretive, overwhelmed, and entitled enough to make choices that endangered the child she loved. That is more frightening because it means love alone is not enough. People can love you and still be unsafe with you. People can love you and still put their comfort above your body. People can love you and still need distance from you until their behavior changes. That is the lesson our family paid dearly to learn. Last Thanksgiving, we were all together. Not the same arrangement. Ethan hosted. Natalie was there. Brooke came with the man she had been dating for 2 years, a quiet accountant named Ben who brought rolls and clearly feared family history. Denise came alone. I brought sweet potato casserole because apparently retirement eventually turns every man into somebody who owns a casserole dish. Maisie was 14 and had invited 2 friends because, in her words, our family needs witnesses who aren't related to us. Dinner was loud, normal. Brooke and Ethan discussed school schedules without tension. Denise asked before posting a group photo, "Can I put this on Facebook?" Maisie said no. Denise nodded. Okay. No sigh. No grandma can't have anything. No guilt. Just okay. That one word represented 7 years of work. After dinner, I found Brooke in the kitchen washing dishes. You don't have to do those. I know. Then why? Because Ethan cooked. Reasonable. She smiled, then said, I think about that birthday every year. I know. Do you? Yes. Do you still hate me sometimes? Direct. I appreciated it. Sometimes I remember holding her in the clinic, and I do. Brooke nodded. Fair. Then I see how you are with her now. Does that erase it? No. Good. I looked at her. Why good? Because if you said yes, I'd know you were pretending. That was growth too. I don't hate who you are now. Tears filled her eyes. Thank you. Don't make me repeat it. Wouldn't dream of it. Maisie entered carrying plates. Why are both of you being emotional? Brooke said, Old people. Mom, you're 43. Ancient. Grandpa is ancient. Correct, I said. Respect your elders. Maisie handed me 3 dirty plates. Then wash these. Family. Not perfect, not erased. Not restored to the old photograph. Something new. Something safer. Sometimes people ask what I think would have happened if Brooke had never admitted what she did, never changed, never accepted boundaries. The answer is simple. She would not have the relationship with Maisie she has today. We did not create distance as a trick to make Brooke change. That is essential. Boundaries cannot depend on the other person cooperating. The purpose was Maisie's safety. Brooke's growth became an unexpected good outcome. If she had spent 7 years blaming everyone else, the door would have stayed smaller, maybe closed. That would have been sad. It also would have been necessary. Self-worth does not mean insisting everyone eventually gets a redemption arc. Sometimes self-worth means accepting somebody may never become safe enough to return. Sometimes the loving decision is permanent distance. Sometimes it is cautious rebuilding. What matters is that the person who caused the harm does not get to dictate the timeline simply because they are lonely, ashamed, related to you, or sorry. Sorry matters. Changed behavior matters more. Respecting the boundary before you are rewarded for respecting it matters most. I missed Maisie's 8th birthday. I carried guilt about that for months because some part of me believed if I had been there Saturday, maybe I would have seen something sooner. Therapy eventually made me admit that was another way of pretending I could control everything. I was sick. I stayed home. I came Tuesday. Maisie trusted me Tuesday. That is enough. Grandparents are not supposed to be omniscient. Parents are not supposed to be omniscient. We are supposed to be safe enough that children can tell us when something feels wrong and humble enough to believe them before we begin protecting the adults involved. That is the thing I am proudest of. Not that I solved anything, I did not. Maisie gave me the truth. I believed her. Everything after that came from adults finally acting like adults. So here is the question I would ask anyone listening, because even now our extended family disagrees about it. If the mother of your grandchild deliberately gave her sedating medicine for months so the child would sleep while she went out, lied to the father, and was helped by her own mother, but then spent years in therapy, took full responsibility, respected every boundary, and genuinely became a safer parent, would you ever allow that relationship to rebuild the way we eventually did? Or would knowingly using a child's body for adult convenience be the one betrayal that permanently closes the door, no matter how much someone changes afterward?